Hey there, I'm Mezzo, and I'm here to give you my predictions for the upcoming Phasmophobia movie. Blumhouse has teamed up with the developers of Kinetic Games to bring you a full-length feature film about Phasmophobia. What will the movie be about, and what parts of the game will be in there? These are my thoughts, and all of these thoughts are from me doing research online and knowledge of the game since I play it myself. Let's go over what the storyline might be. One of the most popular theories in the community is the lore behind the Ghost Girl model, who is rumored to be a patient on the Sunny Meadows map. Known as Patient 07, aka Lisa, is known to be a patient in the original Asylum map that is no longer available in the game, and she moved to Sunny Meadows to try and heal, but she suffered there and died at that institution. You can find a patient room in the female wing that has hash marks like someone's counting the end of their days. You can also find her corpse on a drawer in the morgue. The developers of Kinetic Games use something called a Trello board. You can actually go to it and see where in the process projects of the game are at. And there's one called Lore Update. What will that consist of and how will that affect any theories that I have? You can look for a future video when that update comes out. Now, when players play the game Phasmophobia, they're part of the Ghost Hunting Department team. Distribution. How will that fit into this movie? And I think there are a few approaches to this. One is that the main character will have a connection to the ghosts of whatever haunted location the team goes to. Maybe something like being related to them and that they are a distant ancestor in the past, maybe not even that far, like a grandparent or something like that. And that maybe the main character doesn't even realize that at first because it was something that her family members didn't talk about because of shame for whatever reason. We all know that in the past, mental asylums did not have a good history when it came to how they treated their patients. And families often just discarded family members they were ashamed of at these mental institutions, and they did not have the knowledge of how to take care of them properly. I can definitely see some kind of caretaker of the haunted place letting them in the evening and giving them rules and whatnot, and they leave. And then when the morning comes and the chaos is over, that the caretakers arrive, and there's a similar ending to kind of like The Haunting with Liam Neeson, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and Lily Taylor. No, wrong movie. So I know in the game we also have Tier 1, 2, and 3 equipment. Will they incorporate that in any specific way? Of course. How could they not? You're going to be doing a movie about ghost hunting. You're going to have the equipment. I think an independent company doing paranormal investigations could be a really good approach to the movie. And I would think that the four of them will have a connections where like a couple of them are family members or like a brother and sister, or they'll have someone that's like a couple. And I think that someone that would be doing a paranormal investigation like that would have Tier 2 equipment. Yeah, because I think Tier 1 is a little too rudimentary and people don't really specifically want to see a Tier 1. So I think Tier 2 would be the main approach for an independent company doing paranormal investigations, similar to like the ones that you see on YouTube. Another approach would be a high-end professional company using something that's like the Tier 3 equipment. And how will that affect everything story-wise, and will be a large corporation of Ghost Hunting Department have a big impact on the storyline? It's kind of hard to really see how a high-end company would really be put into the storyline. It's probably not going to be quite as relatable as a lot of people doing their own investigations in real life. So I feel like an independent company with the Tier 2 equipment would be the best approach. There's a possibility that it could be both, that a high-end company and an independent company go in at the same time, vying for some type of grant or position somewhere. There's a possibility that content creation is a factor in the movie because content creation was such a pivotal part of Phasmophobia's success. Will there be Kinetic Games partners making cameos in the movie? I personally don't think so. I think it's more likely we'll have Kinetic Games developers in the movie, like Dee Nider, aka Daniel Knight, who is the CEO of Kinetic Games. In the game, there are 24 ghosts in total. Of course, it is not practical to try to fit all 24 types of ghosts into the movie, so I assume they'll probably go over them in like a learning scene, where someone has like the book that has all the information, kind of like a Buffy the Vampire Slayer thing. And you go over all the different types, but that one of them is a type of ghost that is the main ghost in the storyline. And will they have parts of the ghost in there in the movie that would be really cool to see? Like in a learning scene, they could show what the Obake shapeshift is, or an Apulti explosion. How will the meme-like jokes, if any, be in the movie? Like from the way the characters move, they're kind of janky in the way they're crouched while they're sprinting, or maybe even the Jenga box in the lobby. I can see the characters in the movie playing with a giant Jenga like in their headquarters, the lobby as we know it, using it as like a problem-solving exercise. but I can't see the janky characters' movements making their way in practically, except for like maybe a game within the movie to kind of pay homage to it. In the game, there are several maps you can choose from small, medium to large size. Will there be all these maps in the movie? I don't think so. I think it's very practical to have all the maps for some reason into this movie. But I can see Tanglewood, which is like one of the favorite small maps of the community, being worked into like an opening intro action scene. I think that would be really, really cool. Something to set up what you're going to expect in the movie. Now, a lot of people go to summer camps growing up, so I feel like there could be some cool Easter eggs with summer camps in there, like Camp Open and Maple Lodge. Like maybe the main character is looking at a picture of her grandmother, whoever she's related to, like if it's Lisa in the past, and sees that they went to a camp, and on the shirt, like the shirt they're wearing says Camp Maple Lodge. I think that would be a really cool Easter egg. In the game, there are 6 cursed items. There is the voodoo doll, the cursed mirror, the summoning circle, the tarot cards, the Ouija board, and finally the music box. I was nervous, okay? So, which ones could they use in this movie? I can see several ways that some of them might be inserted into the movie. I can see the music box being an inherited item of the main character that once belonged to Lisa, or again, whichever ghost they use in the location. Maybe the main character visits a medium to find out their future, and after seeing what will happen, the medium gives him or her some of these tarot cards and says, be careful though, because they have, you know, payments in a sense. They come at a price when you use them, which is kind of what happens in the game, right? You pull a tarot card and you could have someone die suddenly, or you lose sanity in the game. The Ouija board feels something like it's a little too common of a trope in many ghost movies and such, so I don't think that one will be applied, but again, maybe there could be some funny Easter egg about it. The mirror, monkey paw, and voodoo doll I don't particularly see being used in the storyline. I think it would be too kind of odd to try to fit in there. So my main prediction in the Phasmophobia movie, in the storyline, is that the main character will have a connection with the ghost in the haunted location. I believe that will be Lisa, and I believe that the connection will be being related, and that the main character will have the music box inherited from them in the connection, and it only works when they're in the location with the ghost it's connected to. I think there will be a learning scene showing different types of ghosts and showing footage of things happening with those ghosts, like the Obake shapeshift or the Pulte explosion. I also think that they'll have a section with cursed items that they'll be learning about, but the main one in the movie will be the music box. I believe that there will be people who die in the movie. That's just natural in a scary movie where people die. So I believe that some of the team will be dying in the movie to the ghost. Will it be one of those typical hunts? I really do hope that we see a death animation like the current one being used in Phasmophobia. And how will I see the movie end? Well, I see the movie ending with the main character in the backseat of a car being driven away, looking back at Sunny Meadows, maybe part of it on fire, and a bunch of emergency crews there. Driving away from the chaos, wondering, is it really over? Special thanks to Dafoool, Bepis, Ghostkai, and Season Gaming for permission to use footage from their channel. You can check out their information in the description below. Subscribe to my channel for gaming videos. I'm Metzo. Thank you for watching.